Hello and welcome to Nine's Wide World of Sports. I'm Tony Trabert, coming to you from the great Stade Roland Garros in Paris. This is the 1987 French Open Tennis Championships, and today is women's semifinals day. And with me, as usual, is Fred Stolle and Betsy Nagelson. And Fred, the second match today is a very interesting matchup between Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova.
Tony, a rivalry that's gone on for the past 15 years, and last year we saw the best women's final, I think, that we've telecast over the years here between the two of them. This time, however, they're both in the same half. Very unusual circumstances, and as Martina said, normally when her and Chris play, whoever wins that match basically wins the title. This time they've got to go on and play a final against one of the up-and-coming teenage stars, so it's a little different. I think Chris Evert has been playing particularly well this week. Martina has been struggling. She's gone to a heavier racket. Dr. Renee Richards is over here to advise her on strategy. However, I'm going to go with Chris to get to the final once more.
Okay, so Fred picks Chris. So now the other match, Betsy, is between two teenagers, Gabriela Sabatini and Steffi Graf, who many think perhaps is the best player in the world right now.
That's right, and I think that'll be the rivalry for the next 10 or 15 years because they're going to be around. They're both 17, with Steffi turning 18 in about 10 days. But Steffi has some added pressure. I mean, the players and the press are touting her as a future #1, perhaps by the end of this year. But she's on a real roll. She's won 6 tournaments this year. She's looking very awesome. There's strong forehand, and she's very strong mentally as well. Sabatini has such a flair for the game, very graceful and a good mover, but I feel that Steffi will just be a little bit too strong, a little overpowering today.
Okay, Betsy, thank you very much. So coming up, the first match, Gabriela Sabatini and Steffi Graf.
And the players are warming up on the center court, and we'll take a look at Gabriela Sabatini, who's 17 years of age, from Argentina. Seeded 7th here. Her WITA ranking is number 8. Her 86 prize money, $264,000 plus, and her career prize money, $502,000 plus. Grand Slam history, semifinals of the French Open in 1985, semifinals of Wimbledon in 86, and a round of 16 loser in the U.S. Open in 1986. And as you can see her round progress, she really had one 3-set match against Camille Benjamin in the 3rd round and has played very, very well, though her head-to-head record with Steffi Graf is not that good. They've played 6 times, and Steffi Graf has won all 6.
Première manche, au service, Mademoiselle Graf. Silence, s'il vous plaît.
Graf to serve. Best shot in tennis, Barry.
Nice to start off that way. You think luck may be with you if you get a net caught on that first point.
Everyone talks about the physical prowess of Martina Navratilova. I'm very impressed with Steffi Graf's physique, how strong she is. She's a big, strong gal that can really move.
She played Gabriela Sabatini in the final of the Italian, and they had 2 very close sets, and then with Sabatini, who she started getting a little leg weary, and Graf won that 3rd set and that title. She won that 3rd set 6-love. Maybe a little nervous start from Steffi Graf. Has not won a Grand Slam title yet, and everybody thinks that this may be the first one.
Break point and a service break. The first game for Gabriela Sabatini.
Let's have a look at the player profile of young Steffi Graf, age 17, of course, from West Germany. Seeded 2 here in this event. WITA ranking is number 2. 1986 prize money, $612,118. Career prize money, nearly $1.25 million.
15-0.
5 points in a row for Sabatini.
Zero. Zero.
7 points in a row thus far won by Sabatini. Graf has yet to win a point.
Pretty confident start. This stage, all errors coming from Steffi Graf's racket. And of course that big winning forehand from Sabatini that broke serve in the first game.
Blustery day, Fred. It's going to be tough on the easy balls, the overheads and things. A lot of wind.
G. Mademoiselle Sabatini.
So 8 points in a row won by
Mademoiselle Sabatini mène 2-0.
Steffi Graf has gone up, I think, probably to change racket. Graf to serve. Betsy mentioned a lot of pressure on her because everyone expecting her to win.
Zero.
Continue with the profile from Steffi Graf. Grand Slam history, semi-finals to the French Open in 86, round of 16 Wimbledon in 84 and 85, and the semi-finals to the US Open 85 and 86. Just hasn't found the range at all yet with the forehand.
Not really rallying either, trying to get the field sort of going after everything.
30.
Enrique Morea, one of Argentina's great players, his wife Alicia there. This is just the end of the replay. And the sitter overhead by Graf. That's the kind of point I think she should try to play early in the match to get more of a rally going.
Good depth there from Sabatini, right into the deep into the backhand corner.
Avantage, Mademoiselle
That's
Graf.
got to be the play with Graf if you can do it, because the forehand of Steffi is such a great weapon that she tries to run around that backhand most of the time. She's on the board.
Mademoiselle Graf.
So Graf holds serve. Sabatini leads 2-1 first set. And we'd like to apologize for the quality of our audio. We understand it's not what we'd like it to be. We are taking the French feed, and our friends are doing the best they can for us. We hope you'll stick with us. Sabatini to serve, 2-1. First set, has a break. Fine shot.
There you see how Steffi Graf reached this semi-final round. First 3 rounds were pretty easy. Then she ran into Helen Khaleesi from Canada. Khaleesi had set point, won that. Graf got out of it, won at 7-6, 6-2, and then Manuel Amaleva 6-4, 6-1 to get to this point.
Right, in watching Sabatini, it seems to me that she's cleaned up her ground strokes a little bit. They're not the flailing type of strokes, particularly on the backhand side that she used to try last year. She also doesn't seem to toss the ball as far to her left on the serve, arch the back, which was very difficult on her.
40-0.
I agree with you there, Tony. I think her new coach, Angel Jimenez, who used to play Davis Cup for Spain, she credits him with quietening things down and giving her a better mental approach to the game.
J'ai Mademoiselle Sabatini.
Well, again, you got to credit Betsy Nagelson, because in her opening she said that she feels that Graf must have a little extra pressure on her. She has not lost since last December. Undefeated this year, has won 6 tournaments. Everyone is talking about her as being the best player, and here she's gotten off to a very nervous start and is trailing 1-3 in the first set.
Premier service. Quinze, 0.
Well, blustery conditions, as you can see. Tony has mentioned that. There's a good deep forehand, lots of topspin, and Graf is forced to slice that one, so it floats a little longer, a little deeper. It wasn't just long.
30-15.
Both young ladies have shown great poise throughout the 2 weeks because of Everett and Navratilova being in the other half. This was the matchup that everybody anticipated, and it's now here. young ladies, Tony, been very confident in their interviews. They both feel they have an opportunity to win this championship. And, of course, they're good friends. They're doubles partners. And you see another good forehand to the backhand, forcing Graf very wide on the backhand, and a good overhead from Sabatini.
And Fred, you're reading the paperwork. Chris Everett says, you know, I'm 32, Martina's 30, and these young people are getting tougher and tougher to play against. That gives the youngsters more confidence.
Out.
That's long. Graf did a double take.
40-30.
Big point there, and Steffi Graf, as soon as that was long, yelled out at the baselines person and got the overrule call. Merit Stierheim, who was man behind the WTA, executive director.
So Graf holds, but Sabatini leads 3-2 first set.
Where Steffi Graf has started off rather nervously, and Gabriela Sabatini still has the break. 3-2 in the first set, and I'd like now to welcome Betsy Nagelson to the commentary booth. And Betsy, you figured this may happen to Steffi, a nervous start.
Well, I thought so. She's got a lot of pressure on her. Of course, these two have played some very close matches. Every one they've played has gone 3 sets except for one. Interesting to note the contrast with which these two girls walk around in between points. Steffi moves really quickly. She's all business out there, and Sabatini moves a little slower, a little more rhythmically.
Well, the door opens a little now for Steffi Graf to get back even on serve. Love 30.
You just sort of feel the rhythm now that Steffi's starting to get into. She started off awfully quick, maybe a little bit too quick, and made a few errors, and I think she now seems to be settling into her rhythm.
Gabriela now starting to make a few unforced errors, where the first 3 or 4 games it was all Steffi Graf's errors. Love 40, 3 break points. And there it is. Great slice backhand down the line to even things at 3 games all.
Beautiful player to watch, Gabriela Sabatini. She's so graceful and fluent.
Love 15. Graf makes a good forehand volley there. She volleys particularly well, Betsy.
She does, and she's starting to come in more and more also. You see, she takes advantage of the open court. She didn't try to do too much with that forehand. She had the open court and pushed it deep into the corner.
Tough conditions to play this semi-final match in, 30-15. Overcast conditions here. Stade Roland Garros, and the top temperature of 19 degrees centigrade. And as we've mentioned, some pretty strong blustery winds.
Big first serve from Steffi Graf, and it's a shot she's worked on and improved as well. She started off her career with a huge forehand, and now she's added some other strengths.
And with that strong forehand, Steffi Graf, after a nervous start, takes the lead, 4 games to 3.
Mademoiselle Graf, man.
Paris, the city of lights. Stade Roland Garros, semi-finals day for the ladies. And it's Steffi Graf. 4 games to 3 in the first set. Sabatini to serve. That's a better point, Betsy. That's the way Sabatini started off. She was the aggressor, and then the last few games she's been on the defensive, with Graf getting to be a little more accurate with the forehand. Bevy of photographers there.
Keep talking about Steffi Graf's powerful forehand, but it's important to play it. You have to take her wide sometimes to open up the court, and that's what Sabatini did very well in the first game of the match. She was very aggressive with that.
That's the end, I believe, where Steffi is hitting with the wind with that slice, and it's just carrying a little long. Betsy, that reminds me of about 4 or 5 years ago, the way Martina used to play Chris Evert. Slice that backhand into the net, make the volley. Great point.
Steffi making a few errors. She was really tested in quarterfinals when she played Helen Kalesi of Canada. In fact, Kalesi held a set point in the first set, but wasn't able to capitalize on it. 7-6, 6-2 for Graf.
Good tactics there, because I feel that Graf played that point to bring Sabatini in on that short one.
Exactly, and Sabatini is in, and she's there with a wide open court, but takes her eye off the ball, and she's not a natural volleyer. She doesn't really like to get into the net. She'll come in if she has to, and she's a good volley because she has good doubles results, but her natural instinct is to stay on the baseline, so it's a good tactic for Graf to try to bring her in.
These two are actually doubles partners, Betsy, aren't they?
That's right.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Graf.
Well, an errant forehand there gives Steffi Graf a break point.
Égalité.
Chance for Graf to go up a break. They're on serve. Both girls have been broken in this set, and Fred, you mentioned the fact that they're doubles partners, and in fact, they're in the semifinals of the French Open to be played tomorrow.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Sabatini.
Well, after being down a break point, Sabatini now stands at game point with a good deep shot into the backhand corner once more. Graf trying to run around it, couldn't control the forehand. Well, needed a couple of bites of the cherry, but Graf anticipated the first overhead, but couldn't cover the territory to get the second one. And it's game to
Mademoiselle
Sabatini, 4-all.
4 jeux partout.
She moved in there for a rather easy lob, but Sabatini was on the offense that whole point. Puts that one away. Graf had a break point in that game, but Sabatini played well, hung on. 4-all in the first set.
Graf missed that forehand. She ran around a second serve, and I think that's a good tactic, though, early in the match to run around and go for the winner. Just let your opponent be aware of the fact.
Great point from Steffi Graf. Again, she uses the whole court. She brought Sabatini into the net.
0.
The drop shot from Graf. Sabatini does a good job to get there, and good hands from Steffi. She elected to take that ball in the air and threw up an excellent lob. And then she, of course, makes the right move and comes in and into the open court.
That's a point that you folks at home should take to heart. Once that lob gets over your opponent's head, move into that net position, as Graf did in that first point. 30 love. Well, it's not the time to make errors and give your opponent an easy game. 4-all. Graf has not had to do a great deal to get to 40 love. The only double fault of the match so far. 40-50. And another missed forehand, and that allows Graf to take the lead 5 games to 4 the first set.
Welcome back to Stade Roland Garros, Nine's Wide World of Sports. Semi-finals, ladies singles, Steffi Graf leading 5-4 first set, Sabatini to serve. Chair umpire there, Paulo Pereira.
Mentioned that these two girls play doubles together, and it'd be really interesting to see in the future, and if they continue to play together, what kind of psychological effects that'll have on each other, because these two women are young and they're going to be in women's tennis at the top for a while to come.
Steffi Graf trying to kick herself along there, Betsy. A couple of opportunities to put that volley away.
Exactly, and Sabatini electing to